Episode 84 of the SoFLo Sports Show. Here we are, live in Miami Beach, broadcasting host 305 Sports Babe, co-host Lou from Dade, and here we are.
We're on the air. It's Halloween Eve, so that's
it's
why
called Mischief Night.
Mischief Night and
Mischief Night.
Mischief Night.
Mischief.
All right.
Mischief.
That's over in Jersey for you. I'm not familiar with that. It's just trick or treating on Halloween on the 31st. I don't know what you do, but we celebrate on the 31st. So you can get into what you used to do in your youth.
This has continued. There's proclamations that towns make. So happy Mischief Night for all those who celebrate.
That's right. And you're obviously dressed in, what are you? It's pretty much self-explanatory. You are a Hooters girl, which I love the costume. I got to be honest with you. I really dig it. So
thank you.
Do you know what I am?
Guy from the 80s?
Exactly. Wow, you guessed it. I didn't even tell you. I actually just got home like 5 minutes ago. And, I got a couple of Macho Man wigs and stuff. And I definitely have a mullet wig. But you're exactly right. I did not tell you. You're like, what are you doing? You're putting on a wig. Doesn't make sense. I am a guy from the 80s, specifically a Dolphin fan from the 80s when they were actually good and played meaningful football games. And you were able to enjoy the Dolphins experience. Unlike today, where we are just tormented by the way this football team plays. So I am, in spirit of Halloween, I am a Dolphins fan from the 80s that went to 2 Super Bowls and saw winning football.
Yeah, I wasn't even born. I don't even know what Dolphins winning playoffs and all that.
You missed it.
All I know is suffering as a Dolphin fan. However, as a Heat fan, as a Panthers fan, I know what it feels like to win. So
yes,
I'm in the presence.
You've been to finals. You've been to the NBA finals. You've been to Stanley Cup finals.
I have.
So you know what that's all about.
Yes, but as far as Dolphins, it's been 24 years since we've won a playoff game. We're currently sitting 2-5 in the AFC East. That is terrible. We head to Buffalo this week, where we've haven't had a winning record in Buffalo in 7 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've including playoff games, including a playoff game there 2 years ago. So we have not had much success, and they're going to have to figure it out because at this point they have to stop this bleeding. I'm going to take these glasses off and get a little serious here, if I may.
Are we going to talk serious about the Dolphins? What is there really to talk? Good news is Craycraft is practicing. So
we could use him because I'll tell you what, Odell Beckham Jr., what has he done? I mean, here's a guy that, wow, he's coming on board, and this is going to be the next coming of his past and what he used to do in New York, the one-handed catches. Forget about one-handed catches. He can't catch the ball, period. You could give him a third hand, and he still can't even probably wouldn't be able to catch a football because he's been nothing. He's done nothing.
Yeah.
So it's been very frustrating. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's not been fun having Odell as opposed to. So I kind of relate it like this. When we got Jalen Ramsey, I was super excited. Guy with a lot of talent come over here. And I kind of feel the same way about Odell. Obviously, Odell is older. And I was kind of hoping we'd get, like you said, an Odell 2.0, but it hasn't been that. So unfortunately, it's
been negative 2.0 for Odell. And look, you give him somewhat of a pass because of the fact that Tua's only played in a game and a half, if you will, or 2 games and a half, I should say, with this past weekend playing. But still, this is a guy that I remember him signing during the F1 during the Miami Grand Prix.
Is your hair in your eyes?
Yeah, I could totally relate to what you go through as a woman. And
Watson with the wig?
All you women out there. No, this is not Randy Watson. Is that what she's saying? No, this is 80s Dolphins Lou. Back when we were having some success.
Oh, so someone's asking about where your other wife is.
Where my other wife is?
Yeah.
Who's that?
I don't know who your other wife is.
Jonathan, what are you trying to do here, man? I've been married a month. I'm not trying to get the papers filed here, man. There's no other wife. There's only one right here.
So Rob Jake says, hi, hello. Mind if I stop by and say Jets suck? You're always welcome to say that.
That is not only welcome. That is encouraged. That is encouraged. As a matter of fact, let's do it right now. JETS. Sucks. See, I feel better. I already feel better.
Always will suck, and Rodgers is slowly destroying that team. Congrats on getting married.
Yes.
Thank you
very
for all
much.
of that.
Appreciate it. But no, look, Odell signed during Formula One last year.
Yeah.
I remember they had a big press conference during the track, and
Indeed.
Everybody was like, wow, another speedster for Tua. And Odell doesn't need to do much here. He was asked to be a secondary receiver in Baltimore last year. Now he could be a third option here, and really fourth if you add HN and Mostert. So, Odell could just fly under the radar here and get his catches. He'll sneak up on the defenses. Well, he hasn't been able to do any of that. No. Nothing. He's got 0 catches. He's got as much catches as you, me, everybody in the room combined. Nothing. It's just been very frustrating. It's been
so let's back up. So let's start last weekend. So last weekend, on Saturday, we headed to Bo Campers, where we saw many of our friends there in town, including Sandy. Sandy was in the house.
Yeah, just back up before that, since we're heading into recapping this amazing weekend that was Fan Club weekend. You're going to break it all down. But obviously Tuesday was the first time that Tua was going to be cleared for practice, and he did. He practiced all week, and he was finally cleared on Friday. So before you head into what we did Saturday,
we knew Tua was playing.
We knew Tua was playing, and likely the starter, and everybody was gung-ho, right? A lot of people, as you mentioned, Fan Club weekend, people flying in from across the country, from Germany, Mexico, UK, friends. Everywhere.
Canada,
and
everywhere.
It was
France.
It was shaping up to be, one of these epic Sundays, and it didn't work out that way. So go ahead.
So we started you started your Saturday working, but then we headed to Bo Campers, which is about an hour from our house, north in about Fort Lauderdale area, where every year the fan clubs pick a weekend where everyone comes together. And this year it fell last weekend. We met at Bo Campers, which is a tradition, and we saw all our friends. We saw new ones. We met, it was just a wonderful, wonderful time. The highlight of that event, even though we were there just for a little short time, was our friends from Germany who arrived on a boat to Bo Campers, because Bo Campers is on the water. So they actually arrived in the boat. And I was the one who said, what do they think? It's the Olympics? Because obviously the Olympics. So it's great to see everybody, Sandy included. She was there with Jerry, all of our friends from Southern California. We could just spend a whole show listing everybody. So it's just great to see everybody. Unfortunately, we did not get a win this weekend, so that's always a damper.
Well, stick with Saturday. We had a great time, obviously. We did. You mentioned the German fan club rolled in a boat. Like you said, it seemed like the Olympics. That was awesome. They had their flag out. So, I was expecting the German national anthem to take off. Also, how about Kim Bokamper, right? Kim Bokamper, obviously linebacker of those great 80s teams, the Killer Bees, went to 2 Super Bowls with the Dolphins in the 80s. He was there. He owns the restaurant or owns a stake in the restaurant. He's got several restaurants, one in the airport, one in Naples. So
Bo's
Beach.
There.
So Kim Bokamper, obviously a big staple. He does a pregame and postgame show on Channel 4 for the Dolphins. You could find him on the podcast with Joe Rose, the Out to Pasture podcast. So Kim Bokamper making his rounds around the room was awesome. And by the way, he was not short with anybody. He was taking pictures. He was really going table to table and saying, thanks for coming, welcome in town. Where are you from? Asking questions. So that was really cool.
It's good to see him.
Yeah.
So no, it was a great event. At the end, it was a little shorter than usual just because our Canes had a big game that night. We ended up having a matchup against FSU, as you guys know. We won that game. Obviously, it's always great when you beat a in-state rival. So
we'll talk about that in a second. But
definitely.
Quick turnaround for the field, right?
Quick turnaround, because that was a 7:00 game, and then obviously the Dolphins had 1:00 the next day. So
that game ended like around 11:00 almost.
Shout out to the grounds crew and those who probably slept there, like our friend JD, who just didn't have time to go home because it's such a quick turnaround. So JD,
I got it. I'm not sure if he's on here. We know he's getting ready for Saturday's game, but he had to have slept there, right? Because he would have gotten home around 1:00, and then we saw him there the next day at 9 a.m. So he must have slept somewhere close to the stadium.
So that happened. So then we wake up on Sunday, head to the tailgate. Awesome. Vibes are good, right? People were in their Tua. I wore my Tua little crop top shirt. We're all the Tua vibe. And Cardinals fans showed up. It wasn't a huge turnout, but they packed together. And, they did their thing. And still, it was feeling good. It was feeling right going into Sunday. And,
Cardinals did show up. They did have a
decent.
They had a good turnout.
Decent.
And they were nice. They were all nice. One of them did have and I think you're going to show it here in a little bit after we talk about it, but they had a sign that said "Laces out Finkel" with the Arizona.
No harm.
Harmless. It was actually quite funny, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, but they were there.
So the game started. Introductions happened, and then obviously they saved the last for Tua. Tua, and people go nuts. The crowd erupts, and it was beautiful. They had a flyover. Then the game starts.
Right.
And, you know.
It started off all right. You know,
no, not really.
We took a 10-0 lead.
We had fumbles here and
No,
there.
right. But initial part of the game, we started off with a 10-0 lead.
It wasn't bad.
So,
better than what we've seen.
Yeah, we started off, all right. We got a touchdown early on. We got a 10-0 lead, and then they come back, they score. It's 13-7 going to the half, and then, the big part of the game was a fumble by Tua, or, it was a bad snap. Tua couldn't control it, goes into the end zone. He tries to bat it out. He's able, thankfully, to bat it out. Otherwise, it would have been a touchdown had Arizona fell on it. But he was able to get it out, which resulted in a safety. But then, obviously, with it being a safety, they get the ball right back.
Yeah.
They come back and score. And now what was a 10-point lead is now gone. And the Dolphins just couldn't hang on to the end. And unfortunately, when they had the 2-point lead and a chance to put the game away, run out the clock, they weren't able to do so. Gave the ball back to Kyler Murray, who was pretty much picking the defense apart all day. Zach Sealer obviously not playing, hurt tremendously, right? He's a guy that can get to the quarterback, disrupt that offensive line, and he just not being there.
Exhausting.
It was.
It was just not pretty, and we didn't win. And we left there feeling deflated, right? And knowing what's coming up this week is obviously we head to Orchard Park, which is never fun to play at, no matter what time. It is better to play now that the weather's decent as opposed to December when it's freezing, but it's just not fun to play there. So this is a very, again, telltale game this week. It's a must win, right? You can't.
They've all been must win of late,
But this is like, I saw something on Twitter the other day, like our shot of making the playoffs. So we're still there.
Yeah.
But the more weeks go by, and if we lose these huge games, against somebody like the Bills, and then we still see the Jets twice, and it's not going to be good. And we still have some big games coming up. So you figure this week, obviously, we go to Buffalo. Then next week we have the Monday night game out in California against the Rams.
They've been playing well as of late.
Then we have New England down here. We have Las Vegas down here. The Jets. So there are games that on paper we should, but we're not the same team on paper that our record says. On paper, we should be 5-2. We shouldn't be a 2-5 team, but our record just doesn't show it. And at the end of the day, it's the record that really matters. So here we are.
Look, it's injuries, right? You lose your starting quarterback and you're down to your not just second, third, but your fourth option.
Yeah.
I would have never, I said this last week's show, I would have never, if you would have told me that, we were going to start off with our 2 road games, one being at Seattle and the second one being at Indianapolis, and those games were going to be started by Skylar Thompson in Seattle, and in Indianapolis started by Snoop Tyler Huntley. And then, but the crazy part, that's not the crazy part, right? The crazy part is they were started by 2 different quarterbacks, but both those games were finished by Tim Boyle. So if you would have told me that you're going to go to 2 road games, you're going to see 2 different starting quarterbacks, and then a different quarterback finish both those games, which is a practice squad player in Tim Boyle, who is awful. I mean, he can't do much with that. It's bad luck. It's bad luck, and unfortunately, we didn't sign a backup quarterback, and it bit us in the ass.
However, Dolphins currently have 10 picks in the 2025 draft. We're not the best team when it comes to draft picks, so hopefully that might change. Because
we only had 4 draft picks last year, so anything's better than that. And I'll take those 10 and see what else we could do.
Moondog is exercising while listening to us.
There you go.
We exercised.
Nice.
Couldn't tell you.
Again, I look like an 80s, energetic guy, but I need to get in that gym with you, Moondog.
Yeah,
I hear you.
Definitely. We'll start that diet eventually, right? Eventually. So you guys know Sunday was not pretty. We, for the fourth quarter, ended up getting field passes. So that was like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. That was awesome that we were able to go down to the field. And
good and bad, good.
It was a cool experience,
cool moment. But unfortunately, we had literally a front row seat. We were standing, but we had a front row vantage point to see that kick go right through the uprights and see all the Arizona Cardinal players, coaches, and their fans celebrate right in front of us. I think you got some pictures. You want to?
Yeah, let me pull them up. So the field pass. If you ever get field passes, you go down section 115 and you just scootle right down. And
you're literally right there.
You have like a bracelet, so it was really, really cool.
You could touch the opposing team's players. They're literally, right there. You're right on the field. It's incredible. You'll see some of the shots here as Ashley pulls them up. But
let me see what I got.
One of the cool things that I did see about this is the fact that you got to show up. We didn't talk about this either, and we got pictures to talk about. But
okay.
You going to pull them up?
Yeah, let's do it.
So obviously the visitors side is where they're directly in the sun. They're baking in the sun. So
All right, so
you'll
let's
see
talk.
that's the Laces Out Finkel sign, which is pretty cool. It's the it's not the flag, but it's the Arizona Cardinal logo with that the sun in the background. Pretty cool. Here's Rusty and Mark, NorCal Mark, who put together the big group that came out for that. So that was awesome. At halftime, they retired the amazing Tim Bowens, number 95, big 95. We could have used them on Sunday. So there's his number, not his number being retired, but his name. His name was mentioned as
the Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor. He's the 25th player and 28th overall Dolphin. There he is talking. He still looks in great shape. Look at this. So we're right on the sideline here, and you could see that Arizona has dedicated staff. It's not just them. It's all NFL teams that come to play here. They have dedicated staff because you're not allowed to have the canopy unless it's like cold, not for the heat. So you have staff that are holding up these panels to keep the players. And if you see here, we witnessed there was one of the players there, I think he's number 50. I can't see really good there, but either way, he was getting into it with his coach. They were really going at it. You could see there, he's like adamant, and the coach ended up just walking away because they were like really going at it. So that was a really sneaky moment to check out that we got to see up close and personal. And then like I said, all those panels that were being held up to protect the players from the shade. And it's super hot. We were down there. We're not in pads. We're not with our the helmets on. So
it was hot.
It's tough.
So you got a question from the mosh pit?
Yeah, tell me.
Hey man, when you first put on the wig on, what was the first hair band song you started singing?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Oh, that is.
Well, we got married last month, and it's not a hair metal, man, but Journey. I was thinking this looks kind of like a little Journey look a little bit. But if you're gonna go back to the '80s, I'd go a little Guns N' Roses, right? Little Motley Crue, that was my speed back in the day. No lipstick now, but the old the hair metal bands.
I like it.
I'm gonna stick with Motley Crue. Little Motley Crue action. I'm gonna go with the Crew.
Steve Perry.
Steve Perry. Yeah, it looks like Steve Perry, kind of a get up here. But if I'm gonna stick with the '80s bands, I'm going Motley Crue, Def Leppard. In your face bands. Yeah.
So Sunday came and went.
Yeah.
Did not have a victory Monday. Sad. But we started our Monday with the Miami Heat home opener, right? Or am I ahead of myself? No, that was our first game.
That was the
no, I'm sorry.
The opener was last week, last Wednesday. Yeah.
So Monday,
we'll talk about the weight thing, but let's wrap up really quick here. I do want to mention, obviously, Tua. He played all right. He did have 3 fumbles, none of which were lost. The bad snap doesn't really qualify as a fumble, so he technically didn't lose any balls, but. Yeah. That was on him. You got to, especially deep in your own territory, you can't let go of the ball. So, but look, he went 20 to 38. He threw the ball well. He had a touchdown. And, you hope that he builds on it, but you really, really, really wish that he would have been able to get this win and pull it out because we needed it desperately.
The momentum,
the
confidence, everything.
He did his thing. But now, we move on to the Bills. Obviously, the second time playing them. Tua got hurt the first go around. Yeah. He's been hurt against Buffalo before, so we're hoping he just is able to survive this game, right, and maybe do something crazy here. But it's going to be very difficult to win in Buffalo, as you mentioned. We haven't won there in our last 7 tries, including a playoff game in there mixed in. So
I'll tell you who else is going to have a hard time winning tonight. The Yankees. Tonight's Game 5 of the World Series. It's a game played in the Bronx, right? Obviously,
we'll get to that.
I'm sorry to talk baseball.
Okay,
Dolphins are such a sad talk.
But I want everybody in the room.
Okay, guys,
here,
we played. But here's Lou's favorite part. We played Buffalo this week. What is your score prediction?
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm ready to talk baseball. I see Derek Jeter on the screen. Joe Torre. Come on. What is your score prediction?
Big World Series game tonight.
I know. What is your score prediction for Sunday? We go to Buffalo, 1:00 game at Orchard Park. What do you guys think?
Buffalo is a 6-point favorite in this game.
Standard.
Started off at 6.5. They're now a 6-point favorite. I actually thought that was kind of low, to be honest with you. Buffalo's coming off a destruction of Seattle, a team that destroyed us, right? So I kind of thought that the line would be a little bigger. So what do you guys got in the room? Buffalo Dolphins, Sunday 1:00 kickoff from Orchard Park in Buffalo.
I'll start.
You want to go? Go ahead. Go for it.
30-20 Buffalo.
30-20. Okay. All right. I'm going to predict a loss as well. Unfortunately, I mean, there's just no way you can, there's no way that you have any kind of confidence, in the fact that Tua is back, but the coaches still couldn't figure out a way to to get this W at home against the Arizona Cardinals. And you know what's crappy too is the defense actually failed in this game. They could not stop Kyler Murray. And you know, Zeller, obviously, we mentioned not playing hurt, but man, you gotta have. You're at home. You know, you're playing against an opponent that's not that great. They should have, you know, been able to take care of business. So the offense actually did all right, minus that bad exchange from center to Tua. But the defense could not stop Murray. So this was
so what is your score prediction? What do you think?
My prediction is
we're past it. You're still on it. Let it go. What do you think this week?
They are not going to be able to stop Josh Allen, I don't think, and they're not going to be able to score enough with them. So I'm going to say, unfortunately, I'm going to say Buffalo 31, Dolphins 20.
We're the same. 30-20.
30-20, I think 31-21.
So Sandy, Sunshine Sandy, coming from California, says 24-20 Fins.
I hope so. That'd be amazing, right? And it would be the most Dolphin thing ever, right? Like you expect them to lose. Oh, there's no chance. And then all of a sudden, we can't beat the Colts, the crappy Colts, who, by the way, this week, right, they benched Richardson. Richardson apparently didn't want to go back into the game, or he asked for a break, and he lost the locker room. A lot of people were upset. Veterans came out and said, hey, what are you doing? You just came out of college. I've been playing in the league for 10 years. So bottom line is, the locker room voted Richardson out, and Joe Flacco is back playing there. But going back to that, Dolphins couldn't win a game with Anthony Richardson at quarterback. Couldn't beat, you know, the Arizona last week. What have they proven that we can get a win? But again, it would be so Dolphin, right, of them to, in a game that no one expects them to win, they come out and win the game. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. I'm hearing some Dolphin fans up in New York think me and Allie are future WWE tag team champs. And you're with some players on the trade block asking for the GM.
There you go.
You know.
All right. I could be your manager. Me and Jared and me could be your managers. We could take the wrestling world by storm.
We got some more predictions for this week. Brett says 34-20 Buffalo. Yeah. So we seem to be in agreeing with Brett. That's 20 points for the Dolphins. 34. I said 30. You said 31. Brett says 34. Josephine Evie coming from Daytona Beach, Florida. 24-14
there you go.
Dolphins.
I like it.
Wow. So her and Sandy are on the Dolphins win train this week. It's going to be tough, but we shall see.
I hope so.
So, all right. Baseball.
Yeah.
I want to go baseball.
If they win, it's going to have to be in a shootout, right?
Of course, it's not going to be an easy thing. We're not going at Buffalo.
They can't win a game 17-14. They're going to have to, you know, shoot it out with them. And so that's the one chance that I have. I do want to mention week 9 starts tomorrow. We already threw our hatred towards the Jets, and why not do it one more time? They are at home playing the Houston Texans. Houston Texans, by the way, lost
they
lost Stephon Diggs. So Stephon Diggs is gone for the year in Houston. Of course, we'll be in Houston in December.
They're still good, man. They still got CJ Stroud. That's going to be so tough to win.
And Nico Collins, who's really their number one. Diggs was actually their second. Nico Collins is on IR, but he's coming back next week, so he'll likely be back by that Dolphin game.
Baseball.
Yeah. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Brett, it's over tonight. Dodgers taking it in 5.
Right.
So it's funny that you said that because that was my prediction from the beginning. I thought Dodgers were going to take it in 5. However, I didn't see it coming on that hot, right? Freddie Freeman is just a beast. Hitting dingers like no one's
every game so far.
Business. So obviously he's lined up to be going into the series. You would think Ohtani. Ohtani would have been my prediction.
Ohtani, and then a lot of people said Betts second.
Mookie.
You know,
but
Freeman
now, like based
third.
on this series, this final series, it's looking like Freeman.
Incredible.
Incredible. Amazing. I too think tonight, Brett, that it is over.
Wow.
I think that the Dodgers will win. One of the signs that they showed yesterday at the game said, Freddie, please stop, which is true. So interesting with yesterday's game. We were watching it. Bottom of the first.
Oh, man.
Right?
Freeman tees off.
That's the top of the first.
Yeah. No, but that wasn't that bottom side. I think it was in the third inning that happened.
No, I think it was the first. It was early on in the game.
Either way, you guys know what we're talking about. This crazy.
Mookie Betts, man, got assaulted straight up in the Bronx.
It was nuts.
I've never seen anything like that.
I've never seen anything like that. And, you know, there have been people out there saying, oh, it was normal. No, it's not.
Yeah.
I understand. That, you know, there's a barrier. And specifically in baseball, right? Because there's no other sports, like in football, when you kick the extra point, what do? They put up that net. So the ball gets stuck.
Yeah.
But in baseball, it's a common thing where the ball comes in. It's a souvenir. You have the right as a spectator to the ball comes your way. And if it's landing on your seat, you have the chance to get it. But this guy went into Betts's, way to try to disrupt him from
When in his
catching.
way, he
No, but hold on. Before, as the ball was landing in the trajectory of his glove, he went in his way to disrupt his catch initially. And then once he has it in his glove, this douchebag,
Don't
I'm sorry.
say those
No, I got to
words.
say it. That's what he is.
Don't say
He
those
grabbed
words.
Mookie Betts' glove and tried to pull the ball out of it.
Yeah.
And then his douchebag buddy,
No, the
no, I'm
words.
saying
You're
it.
gonna get banded on. They're gonna block us.
Hey, listen, his idiot buddy grabs his wrist. Look, Mookie, give the guy credit, right? He didn't come back and try to get at him or anything like that. And at first, it was announced that those fans were going to be allowed to attend tonight's game. They're season ticket holders, both of them.
Yeah.
They're both season ticket holders, and they were supposedly going to be allowed to attend the game. And I lost my shit. I could not believe it. How would you allow these two guys that basically assaulted, the right fielder, all-star right fielder, perennial batting, champion, Mookie Betts, let these guys back in the stadium? That was nuts. So finally, MLB stepped in, not the Yankees. MLB stepped in and said, "Hey, absolutely not. Give those guys their money back. They're out of there." And I just could not believe it.
No, it was crazy. And so, whatever. I mean, the Yankees ended up winning, so maybe it was like the little luck they needed. But ethically,
but have you ever seen him play like that?
Of course not.
No, I'm not. And to put this in perspective, think about if LeBron James, for example, was going into the crowd after a loose ball, and LeBron James all of a sudden jumps into the crowd and somebody grabs his wrist. What do you think is happening there? LeBron James is going to be cool with that?
Yeah.
There'd be all kinds of craziness coming out of that.
So it's a must-win tonight for the Yankees in New York. If not, goes back to LA, which Dodgers, of course it's always nice to win at home, but Dodgers will take it anywhere.
We know our lessons of that. You never give any games away.
Obviously, we've learned very
yes.
So we'll see. It's October baseball is the most beautiful baseball it is, besides opening day, and we'll know tonight. I predict that both teams are going to have hot bats. I would like to see a home run by our boy Jazz Chisholm Jr. It's good to see it, right?
I don't want to see anything good Yankees wise, but
you're happy for him because we loved him here, and obviously he was not going to see a World Series being down here, so that would be nice just for whatever. But I do think the Dodgers are going to finish it out tonight.
We'll see. It's a game one rematch, pitching matchup. You got Jack Flaherty for the Dodgers, and you got Garrett Cole for the Yankees. A lot of people were on manager Aaron Boone for removing Garrett Cole from that game in game one. And ultimately it led to Freddie Freeman's moment where he had that grand slam, the walk-off grand slam.
Wow.
So we'll see how Boone handles Cole tonight, where he pulls him early or lets him pitch until his arm falls off, because they may need to do that. Also, two guys that were the focus maybe of the World Series, Ohtani and Judge,
they're quiet.
They've both been very quiet.
Judge especially. Well, Ohtani could possibly be hurt. We don't know how bad when he slid, how bad his shoulder was injured. But what's Judge's excuse?
There is no excuse. So, I mean, and it's not just been this series. He's been traditionally bad in the postseason. So we'll see how that plays out.
So we'll see the games. You guys know starts 8:08. That's like the cool time.
Right.
8 o'clock, 8:08. So that is coming up soon. Derek Jeter is currently speaking. Obviously, he's so loved in New York. Also, big controversy going on this week was the Dwayne Wade statue. Yeah. Okay, so how we found out was that we left the Dolphins game, and obviously we're in PO'd moods. Like we're kind of like zombies. We're shocked what happened.
Yeah.
And then they had a special party at the Casino Center that we just couldn't make.
We couldn't make. We're at this game. We're at the Dolphins game.
So we're stuck.
5 p.m.
We're stuck in traffic, gridlock traffic, trying to get out of the yellow lot. It's gridlocked. And I'm on social media, and all of a sudden I see a statue. And I'm like looking, and I'm like, didn't think anything of it. And then I see Dwayne Wade. I said, no, that's not the Dwayne Wade statue. And then I'm looking more, and then I see Will Manso's post, and I see Josh Moser's post, and I'm like, son of a gun, this is really the Dwayne Wade statue. So you had me already triggered from the Dolphins losing, and then I see what I thought at this moment was the worst statue I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Like, we've seen many statues. We love museums. We love history. We've seen the Walt Disney statue. We've gone to a lot of sporting arenas. We've seen hundreds of statues. This statue, excuse me, I can upset even talking about it still. Just there was nothing to look like. So that was just bad. So then obviously everyone was like, what did they do to Dwayne? What did he do to deserve it? So we kind of let that ride out. Then Monday happens.
Yeah.
And
we haven't discussed this, by the way. We've you got to see it up close and personal. And I got close to it, but not as close as you did. And you even got one better, because you not just saw the statue, So when we came back after the Dolphin game late that night, apparently we're season ticket holders for the Heat, and we received an email that stated that, hey, Dwayne Wade is going to be available to take a picture with you and the statue Monday night before the game. And I couldn't do it because of work, but I'm like, babe, you got to do this. And so you got a tremendous opportunity to not only see the statue like right up close, but you got the real Dwayne Wade, the real deal right next to you. And you got that picture you're going to show here in a second.
Yeah.
But so what did you tell the people? You saw the statue up close right there. What do you think? What's your impression?
I thought the same dang thing I can't even get so upset when I think about it. I thought the same thing. What I thought when I first saw it on social media. Some people's, opinion changed when I saw it in person. I still saw the same thing. Waldo was Waldo, right? There was no difference. So I'm like looking, I always wear my shades, took the shades down, put the shades up. I'm like, I still don't see it. I'm trying to be open-minded. I'm trying to feel the juju of it, the excitement, and I still didn't feel it. So then, we're in line. Myself and one of my best friends, JD, we're in line.
Fan of the year, by the way.
Fan of the year for the
Canes.
We're in line to meet Dwayne Wade. We're maybe like the 6th or 7th in line. We get there early, and so I was like reading articles. We were waiting in line. We're talking, hanging out, and then I see a thing that Dwayne Wade. I was waiting for him to kind of say like, "Dude, this isn't right." He goes and says it's an artistic piece of work, and he's part of designing it. So then I was like, all right, if Homeboy's happy, I'm happy with it,
right?
and everything. So okay, at that point, I go first to meet Dwayne. I've never met Dwayne. Actually, I'm lying. No, I'm lying to you. I met him when I was in college in 2018. He had a fundraiser at Lucky Strikes Bowling Alley.
2018?
No, I'm sorry, 2008 when I was in college. I'm sorry, I'm sweating. In 2008, when I was in college, he had a fundraiser at Lucky Strikes, and I volunteered when I was a sport management major at Barry. And so I met him, and I have a picture of him and I from X amount of years ago.
Nice.
So, but I haven't met him since. So I went there wearing my Dwayne Wade jersey, went up to him. JD was super nervous. He was like, sis, I'm nervous. I said, no, you're good. You're good. We had to talk him through it. I said, you're good. No pictures. You meet the stars every day. You're good. So I went up to him. I said, Mr. Wade, thank you for everything you've done for the city. I said, it was because of you and Jason Kidd that I fell in love with the game, which is true. I got to give a shout out to Jason Kidd, Nets fan growing up. And he said, thanks. Jason Kidd's a good buddy of mine. And I said, I really appreciate, what you've done to the city. And thank you.
That's awesome. You didn't tell me that. We said we were going to talk about it in the show. So that's really cool.
So that happened. And I was wearing my cute Dwayne Wade dress. And then I just saw the picture today. So then you ended up meeting me at that game.
Yeah. So I came after work. I couldn't make it. It was early, obviously. Dwayne, we had a lot of commitments that day. He spoke to the media, and he had a lot of stuff to do. So they made it really early. I couldn't get out of work. So I said, you go with JD, and I'll meet you over there. So show the pictures. I'm going to give did you give your whole synopsis of it?
I mean, honestly, my opinion did not change of it.
Okay, all right.
I still think it's not good.
Yeah, I'm going to give you mine. Are we still on? You're looking at?
Yeah, no, you're still live.
So basically, this is what I think, right? Yeah. I have always said, diehard Heat fan from day one. I've always said once Dwayne retired that he needed a statue because he is the greatest. He is the greatest Heat player in Heat history. Hold on, before you show him, he's the greatest Heat player in Heat history. Obviously, he's actually, if I can be honest, he's the third best player to play for the Heat, if that makes sense. And the first two are, I'm going to put Shaq first because Shaq.
And LeBron.
Exactly. Shaq changed the game. Okay, when you're making Jason Capono a historic three-point shooter, you're doing something right. So Shaq, what he did in the game is in my opinion, the number one overall Heat player to play the game, to put on a Heat jersey. Second is LeBron, as you mentioned, and third is Dwayne Wade. Now, that said, as far as the best Heat player of all time, it's Dwayne Wade, and it's not close because he's got the 3 titles, right? He took us to 2 other ones with the help of LeBron. And Chris Bosh, but he won 3. Those other 2 guys didn't do that. He holds pretty much every record for a Heat, in the Heat franchise history. So by far, Dwayne Wade is number 1. And I always said when he got that statue, it should have been of that famous moment against the Bulls, a double overtime game where he hit a 3-pointer. He took off from about half court. It was a 3 at the buzzard, and he immediately ran to the scores table, jumped on top of it, and repeated like about 10 times, This is my house.
Yeah.
This is my house. This is
It
my
looks like
house.
he's pointing down at something else that people don't want
Well,
to know.
no, not he was saying something different. He was pointing to the floor.
I got
Yeah.
this snake here.
Yeah, no, this is my house, meaning to the floor. And so I always thought that should have been in. And they got the pose right. Now the problem is that they chose to capture that moment with his mouth agape, so it didn't lend to it forming what his face looks like. Also, his jawline is a little bit kind of like mine right now, kind of bigger. He had especially at that point when he was a lot younger, he had a very thin jawline, and so that didn't come across well. So that's where I think the disconnect is. But everything else from what I saw, and I still want to see it as close as you did, everything else is awesome. The scores table, it's down to a T. They actually on the radio show the other day, they mentioned how Eric Reed's headset is on there. The monitor that I think is Tony Fiorentino was the analyst back then. His monitor is there. You got a water bottle. You got Mickey Harrison's glasses. Like everything was exactly as it was that moment. So I love it for that reason.
So you got some OGs. So we talk about old school basketball. Shaq on the Magic with Hardaway was so fun for me to watch.
That was a great team.
Oh,
great team. You got Nick Anderson on team. Dennis Scott, 3D. That was a fun team.
Got some other names we want to throw out.
Alonzo Mourning, no doubt. Alonzo Mourning, just, you got to look at those three guys, and they stand out. But you're absolutely right. We don't win that first title in 06 without Alonzo. And for my money also, Alonzo, Tim Hardaway, Dan Marley, Vashawn Leonard, PJ Brown, Jamal Mashburn, Ronnie Cycli. That's an original number 4 from Syracuse. But well, I don't know about that, Russ. Harold Miner was kind of a bust. They called him Baby Jordan. He never materialized. But no, look, Alonzo Mourning definitely worth mention among that group. 100%.
So Dwayne's happy. We're happy.
Yeah,
right?
show the pictures.
Sorry.
Yeah, show those pictures.
Yeah, and then
those that haven't seen it by now, and if you haven't seen it, you've been living under a rock because everybody's seen it. A lot of people say it looks like Lawrence Fishburne. A lot of people, JD said that it looked like Antoine Walker, which I could see that a little bit. So yeah, a lot of negative reviews. There it is from a distance, a mob scene. You can't see. There it is up close.
No, you can't, man.
He's pointing down. Oh, and there's another one. The jersey's perfect. So he also mentioned this. He mentioned what's going on here.
Yeah, the city gave him his own little street.
Right in front of the
Boulevard, right in front of Kaseya Center off of Biscayne Boulevard. So that's cool. And that's me and Dwayne just chilling like villains, man.
And we got here, we're back. Oh yeah, look at that picture. Keep that up for a second. Look at that. There you are.
Look at them legs.
Dwayne Wade.
Talk about his legs.
Oh yeah, no, he's got great legs. But it is Dwayne Wade. I mean, that's a surreal moment. He's hanging out in front of his statue. Keep that up for a second. You lost it. All right. Well, either way, that was awesome. And they also gave this out here. You could be Vanna Wade and show this.
Vanna Wade?
Vanna White, not Vanna Wade.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Gabrielle Union. Vanna White. Show that. They gave off this I don't know what it is. What do you call this?
Lanyard.
A little lanyard with little I guess it's not a ticket, but it's something that says pretty much that it's Dwayne Wade's statue night, and in the back it's got like some of his accolades, and it has this famous quote that says, "This is my house." So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
No, we had a good time.
All right, Rob.
Ended up he won that game. So we opened up our season real quick. Opened up our season against the Magic. We
got
did
destroyed.
Not win that one.
I got destroyed.
That was not fun.
No, it was not.
We won one on the road, and then we came back here. We played the Detroit Pistons 2 days ago.
Well, we after opening night went to Charlotte.
Went to the road.
We won that game in Charlotte, and then we were at the game on Monday where you saw Dwayne Wade's statue, and that was a win against the Pistons 2 nights ago. But here's my issue.
What's your issue?
The top 3. It's early on, right? There's 79 games.
We have one loss. We're gonna go 81.
But here, no, we're not. There's 79 games to go, right? But the issue here is you played against a good team in the Magic who made the playoffs last year and got absolutely destroyed. Destroyed. No, I'm just saying. And then the 2 wins, which were close wins, they were not breakaway wins, were against 2 very bad teams. The Pistons were the worst team in the league last year, and Charlotte was right there with them. So, and you needed everything to beat those 2 teams.
And the only player that stood out on the Pistons to me was Tim Hardaway Jr., Tim Hardaway's son.
Well, you got Kate Cunningham, which was the #1 draft pick a couple of years ago. So he's finding his way, and he's going to be a really good pro. But again, not much else on that team. Same thing with Charlotte. And, you'd like to see a little bit more. And
Tonight's a big test. We're playing the Knicks. I'm sorry, the Knicks. We're playing the Knicks, New York Knicks. Game just started tip off. So it's a good test tonight.
Yep, the Knicks acquired Carl Anthony Towns, Cat, as they call him, from the Minnesota Timberwolves. They traded away Julius Randle. So, they got Cat is a great player. He could do it from the outside, inside, block shots. So they upgraded there, and they're going to be dangerous. But look, you just want to see the Heat. Nikola Jovic, who's been in the starting lineup, has not looked good. He's struggling with his shot early on. Jimmy Butler, by the way, who spent all offseason letting people know, hey, I'm back. I'm going to take the season serious. To his credit, he's played in every game. He hasn't had Jimmy moments where he's taking time off, but he hasn't been assertive. He's been very passive. So for a guy that's in a contract year trying to get more money, and not just more money, significantly more money, I need you to do more. Agreed. You can't go out there and just be a facilitator or you're the leader of the team. Get your name is Jimmy Buckets. Get me some buckets. He scored 3 points on opening night. You can't do that.
Bam Bam's getting me really PO'd about like 1-for-1 on the free throws.
No doubt.
They're gonna hack you. You're a big man. Obviously, you're gonna get hacked a million times. Dude, you got to make your free throws. Every 1, 2, 3, 4 of those points count. Another prediction for Sunday: 38-13 Buffalo.
Wow.
Chase.
Oh, man, that's tough. I hope it's not that bad, man. We need something. We need some kind of an encouragement.
Thinking about Chase reminded me of the Marlins. We obviously Skip is no longer with us, and John Jay is gone as well.
Yeah, the whole coaching staff was gone.
So we won't talk about that. We'll save you. Obviously, the only baseball
the only thing that matters right now is the World Series, and we'll get to the Marlins once spring training comes
real quick on the Canes. Obviously, we spoke about before. We played FSU home last Saturday night. We won. It was fantastic. It's always great to beat FSU home way in Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus. Always good to win. Obviously, that game was a little closer than we would have liked.
Yeah. No. They did pull away, but I wanted a beatdown. They embarrassed us here 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I wanted to destroy them. And, it was close. They pulled away at the end, but I wish it would have been a bigger margin.
Yeah. So that's done over with. We are undefeated. We are 8-0. This week we play Duke on Saturday. Duke at 12 o'clock. Momentum's still strong, right? You can't go into this game thinking, oh, it's Duke, their basketball school. The great Daniel Jones came out of Duke, right?
Right.
So, I know that was no pun intended, but I had to make you guys laugh a little bit with that. But no, it is, obviously we want to keep the momentum going. What's actually interesting about this game that Duke and, Daniel Jones, but whatever, Duke's coach is Manny Diaz, and you guys know the name very familiar. He was our coach.
Yeah.
So
former friend coming in, and he's going to want to rile his troops up and get them to get a win for him. He was let go by the Canes, so there's payback on his mind.
Should win that game, right, Moondog?
Yeah, they definitely should. They're favored by 20 points, right? So it's an ACC game, so they should take care of business. No sense.
We might have sorry.
Yeah.
No, it should be win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
They should win that game. They're ranked 5th in the country. They, if they win this game, they're pretty much assured of being in the playoff, unless they just, tank it towards the end. No. There's, you're running up against the schedule here, and you want to leave a little bit of wiggle room because you're still going to have to play an ACC championship game at this point.
Yeah, that'll be in December.
Correct, but if you have one loss, then you can, not that you want to lose any game, but you have wiggle room. But you got to win this game on Saturday.
Definitely. Maybe have a little leak here going on. Maybe Marlins have picked a new manager, Keiko Bernias.
I did not hear that.
Maybe.
I know that they wanted Will Venable, and he ended up getting picked up by the White Sox. That happened yesterday. So if you're breaking that news to me, I did not.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take a look after the show's over. But that'd be interesting. You don't want to wait till the World Series is over and then people start making moves. You want to, if you have somebody you like, go get your guy.
Yeah. And before I let you guys go, talk a little bit about hockey. Obviously we are, early on in hockey season. We're still on the very much high of being Stanley Cup champions.
Yeah, defending champs.
So we're still
all season long.
We're still drinking that Kool-Aid. Still very, very fun. I want to leak something, but I'm not going to leak it because you know where to go with that. But Panthers. There's going to be some really cool Halloween. I think there's going to be some really cool Halloween. I think a lot of babies are going to dress up as little Stanley Cups.
Yeah, we'll see tomorrow.
I-
There could be some interesting outfits, and I think a lot of them might be predicated towards the Panthers, who had a tremendous, obviously, championship moment this past offseason.
But Panthers are doing fine. 7-3, currently in first place in the Atlantic Division. It's still, again, with the Heat, it's great to, be above 500, winning and everything, but it's so early, anything can happen. So it's nothing really to say. Game by game, obviously, you go into every game playing like it's important, but we'll see.
Yep, they're coming off, they just went 3-0 in New York, the state of New York. They had 3 straight games in New York, started with on your birthday. We missed it because we were out celebrating, but they beat the Rangers in the Garden 3-1, so a nice convincing victory. 2 nights later, they beat the Islanders. Where do the Islanders play these days? Is it
Long Island?
Long Island. So they beat So they beat the New York Islanders 6-3.
My brother asked that question too the other day. I'm like, guys, Long Island.
So they doubled up on the Islanders 6-3, and then 2 days after that, they go to upstate New York and they beat the Buffalo Sabres 5-2. So 3 very convincing wins, all in New York. And now they are actually, after that Buffalo win, they went directly to the airport and flew out to Finland. They are going to play 2 games in Finland against the Dallas Stars. Of course, the Panthers have a lot of Finnish players on the team, so that's pretty cool. And it'll give you a chance to watch some day hockey because obviously with the time change, these games are going to be Friday. I want to get it right here. Friday is going to be a 1 o'clock puck drop, and then Saturday will be an 11 a.m. puck drop. So a couple early local starts for the defending champs, and that'll be fun to see.
No, definitely.
So can we talk about the Dolphins getting an international game? They didn't say where.
We don't know. There's nothing to talk about, right? Obviously, there's 2 potential players, or not areas that we're thinking. We're thinking Spain or Brazil. We obviously would be very, very, very interested in going to Spain. Brazil, maybe not so much, but we did officially get a home. It's home. It's a home game,
right?
And so that'll be exciting.
We will be the home team. So we were supposed to have 9 home games next year, but it'll now be 8 because we're going to lose a game.
That's exciting.
To potentially, a lot of people are thinking Spain. So and they usually announce that towards the end of the year, just to get the
momentum.
wheels.
And it's a whole thing of planning. It's a whole. It's
no
not
doubt.
like just showing up at a away game in Indianapolis or Seattle. Like it's a whole team they send out there to prepare it.
Correct.
Especially in markets that are not like England, where they're starting to
exactly. So
there's a lot.
In this case, if it is Spain, they've never hosted a game in Spain, so it's going to be a lot.
It would probably be Madrid or Barcelona. Those are my 2 guesses.
Yeah, those are the 2 biggest cities.
Madrid, but I wouldn't throw out.
They could do it in Ibiza, right? Like Miami's got the nightclub theme and all that. Maybe just do it in one of those islands. Have like the DJs playing and stuff. That'd be pretty cool.
Stadium though, silly. You need a
stadium.
I know. All right, guys. Well, tonight, lots of fun, interesting sports going on. Obviously, we have Game 5 of the World Series in the Bronx. Dodgers are leading that series. Dodgers won tonight. The series is over. They will be your 2024 World Series champs. Heat are playing the Knicks at home here at the Kaseya Center. And then our Dolphins head to Buffalo in a few days to obviously take on the nemesis, the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that'll be tough.
And we said it earlier on the show, it is mischief night for all those who celebrate. Russ, being from Philly, knows exactly what I'm talking about. Some of the people may not, because Lou didn't know.
I had no idea what that was.
Mischief night is a very special night for us Northeasterners who throw toilet paper and egg your neighbor's house with all love. So
how is that love? That sounds crazy. You're throwing eggs at somebody's house.
It's all out of love. So for those who celebrate, have a great time tonight. Obviously, tomorrow is Halloween. Be safe. Have fun. We have a costume reveal that we will be.
Yeah, we're going to do a whole photo shoot tomorrow for a costume that, obviously is going to be. I joked today on Facebook, and I don't think I put it on Twitter, but I joked that it's not going to be Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, and it's not going to be Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, even though I do a great Donald Trump impression.
Donald Trump and Melania.
But, yeah, exactly. But no, we're going to do a little something. It'll be sports related, and I think it'll be fun. So looking forward to that. I did want to ask the room, and I want to ask you here as well. What was your favorite candy that you received while trick or treating? What did you go to somebody's door, you knock, and they open up, and they're trying to.
In Jersey, it wasn't like that. We didn't get candy. We got like big things.
Like what, like a calculator or something? What they give you back then?
No, I guess we got candy. First of all, we never went trick-or-treating in the bucket. We always brought pillowcases.
Like this? You didn't have like a bucket to go?
We had pillowcases, and then we'd fill it up.
Pillowcases?
Pillowcase. I've never had a trick-or-treating bag. We've always had pillowcases.
Okay.
And then it would fill up, and then we would go to the house, dump it. I'm a Starburst girl.
Starburst, okay. Yeah, you like candy. You're not more of
I'm not a candy girl, really. And M&M's. I don't like nuts.
Okay. Well, you don't like nuts. You should, maybe don't say it like that, but either way, I am into chocolate. So I like.
I know you
I
eat
like,
all the chocolate here.
Yeah,
We go to Ghirardelli factory and you ate the whole bag.
You know, if I'm coming up there and they're giving me a choice, right, I'm going for the Snickers, the Kit Kat, you know, the Twix.
Yeah.
You know, I want the chocolate concoction is what I want. You know, I will say this though, there was one particular house that every year we went to, and we couldn't wait for them to move. It was an elderly couple. God bless them.
On the island?
Yeah, we did our neighborhood walks, and this couple, God bless them, they just didn't know how to do Halloween right. They would try to pass us off with vegetables. They try to give us like, you know, here's a broccoli, you know, whatever they were making, hummus and stuff. I'm like, what are you doing?
No,
this is Halloween.
Russ made a good point. Russ, this is what I'm talking about.
Couldn't believe that.
My parents gave up McDonald's gift certificates after we had to talk about giving up pennies and Sun-Maid raisins. Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff we would receive. We receive like gift cards and stuff like that. So yes, getting egged. Yes.
Yeah, that's nuts. I mean, I did do that, you know, our rival.
You did that like on any other day. That was not just a Halloween thing.
Come on, not at all.
So, no, I'm not a big Halloween girl, but I love Mischief Night. So I'm tempted to see whose house we connect to.
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Absolutely not. You're going to come across as the two idiot Yankee fans that try to poke the ball out of Mookie's glove and grab his wrist. That's ridiculous. We're beyond that. But no, yeah, look, if you're out there, you know, hopefully you're not trick-or-treating as an adult, but if you're doing it with your kids, that's awesome. It's a pretty cool moment. A lot of people are anti-Halloween. You know, like I could see it.
It's
like,
demonic.
Well, look, yeah, but I'm not trying to.
It's not appraised on.
I'm not trying to conjure up any demons. I just want to have fun with it. You know, like to dress up, get some candy. I do like horror movies. You know, during this time of the year, and I know Russ, who is a movie aficionado. You know, all the great horror movies and Halloween classics come out. You know, this whole week and even a couple of days after Halloween. So that's always fun to watch. And, you know, it's who doesn't love a holiday? I love to partake in the holidays and have fun.
And then 12:01 on Friday, Christmas music starts.
Yes.
How about that?
I love that too. I'll tell you what I don't like, since I'm on a ranting and really upset mood, because the Dolphins have me in an upset mood. You know what's happening this Sunday, right? Or Saturday night.
Daylight savings time. We get to sleep in.
Ridiculous.
I love it.
They're going to put,
you don't wake up at 6:30 every morning to be at work at 7.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
No.
What I'm talking about is after they do that, come Sunday night, 6 o'clock, you look out your window and it's pitch black out. And that's ridiculous.
Do you want to be me and drive in pitch black going to work?
I rather look. I'm not a morning guy.
Well, we got a national anthem going on. Babyface about the same.
Tell me if you're a morning person out there, and if you're a morning person, I'm not talking about like 7:30 or 8 o'clock. I'm talking about if you get up at 5 or 5:30, that means you're a morning person. Well, I don't think a lot of people are morning people. Okay, I think the majority of people would want to see it be light out and the sun still out at 6 o'clock, not have it be pitch black dark. That's ridiculous.
I completely disagree with you. I'm driving work at drive.
When I run for president in the next 4 years, I'm going to do that.
All right, guys, enjoy Babyface. He is singing the national anthem. You have Babyface tonight. You had Ashanti tomorrow, or yesterday, I'm sorry. So enjoy the World Series. May the best team win. Maybe it'll end tonight.
Dodgers.
Maybe it'll go to Dodgers. Maybe it'll go to LA. And we'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah, have a good week ahead. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. I said Thanksgiving.
He's hungry.
I'm
as
hungry.
You guys know, he did not eat dinner yet, as you can imagine.
Play the music while we go through these. Play the music put the music playing going out. And then, I just want to wish you guys happy Halloween, especially if you're celebrating with the kiddos. Hope they get good candy. You don't steal their candy now. Let them enjoy it. Make sure they go to the dentist shortly thereafter. Cavities are just broke these days. So. All right, guys. Have a good night. Have a good rest of your week. Fins up. Let's get a win on Sunday, please. Peace, guys.